Welcome back to this episode of Inside RIC Athletics. My name's Owen, Kane, Assistant Sports Information Director. Once again, I am joined, or just our first time actually, joined by Ben Lockwood of the men's cross country team. Ben, how are you doing today? Thank you so much.
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Just looking back a little bit, you're early starting the season. You're already one race through the year. That was 2 weekends ago at Trinity, where you ran, I believe, 17:31.7.
Mm-hmm.
You finished second on the team. What were some things going into that meet that, Coach Rudd or even, you and the rest of the team were talking about, getting your mindset ready to start the season?
Yeah, that was just really a race to build confidence.
Yeah.
That's our only 5K this season.
Nice.
So, time's not a big factor. It was a super tough course, so
Right.
Coach let us know that going in. So he said, don't worry about the time. Just rip it. Just give 100% effort. That's all we can ask.
Yeah.
We went into it with no nerves, which was
That's good.
which was really nice. And yeah, it lived up to it. It was a tough course,
Yep.
a lot of hills, but
Yes.
it was just great to get racing after the summer
Yeah.
of nothing. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, like you brought up the summer, what kind of preparation goes into the summer as a cross-country athlete and even a track athlete during the winter and the spring later on in the season? What kind of preparation that you look for that you really want to build? What are like 3 things that you want to build on?
Summer. So the summer is mainly about getting like the mileage up.
Yes.
We normally tone down the speed work as a little bit,
Awesome.
give the legs a rest, but slowly build up the mileage. So I try to add like 5 miles more each week.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So get up to around like 55 miles for the week by the end of the summer. Mostly nice, easy miles. Keep the strength training up as well,
Yeah.
cross training,
Awesome.
and then got one race in, ran the Blessing of the Fleet just to get the kind of the speed up a little bit. But.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had a chance to talk with Coach Rudd earlier today. He was talking on our Anchored In Athletics radio show, which you can actually watch at 4:30 on Fridays. Be sure to stay tuned in through that. But he was talking a lot about how that course was, like you said, it was a little bit more difficult. You're going into your next meet this weekend on September 21st. Excuse me. Yep. At UMass Dartmouth, which is also going to be the host for the Little East. So
Yeah.
what are your mindset going into a course that may be a little bit easier, and what's going to prepare you for the future?
It's super nice going into the course we've already ran. We ran it last year. We all love it. It's super flat. A great way to start with like the 8K courses. So we just go into that with that confidence.
That's awesome.
It's amazing just being able to run it before conference as well.
Right.
So we'll have that confidence going into
That's
conference.
awesome. Yeah. So don't get me wrong. You sort of transferred back here to Rhode Island. You're originally from Rhode Island area, or
Yes.
and then you came from was it Dayton as well? And
correct.
Stuff like that. So
Yeah.
what is the homecoming sort of been like for you? You're sort of familiar with the area. What sort of led you back here to Rhode Island College?
I missed the state, definitely missed my family. I was training a little bit out there, but they didn't really have a track team.
Yeah.
So it's just being back in like the state of Rhode Island and then I missed the competitiveness of track,
That's
which I did in high school. So
Right.
it's been amazing being back.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I'm so curious to see what the times are throughout the rest of the season. I have a brother out in Pennsylvania who runs cross country and
okay.
track, so I was a little familiar with his times as well. He's not not necessarily the fastest or anything like that, but it's also it's really good to watch him and watch all the different athletes come in through there. So are there any your little junior on the team right now, and is there any sort of words of advice that you're telling the freshmen or the new guys coming in, to try to keep their head level as the season just gets started?
They came in super humble. It's almost like the other way. Like we're trying to instill more confidence in them.
Yeah.
This team, we're a super young team again this year. Almost all freshmen, sophomores.
Yeah.
Just a lot of young talent. Owen, a new freshman we got, he's just incredible.
Nice.
Levels ahead of where I was at
Right. Yeah.
that stage. We got Scott, and Andrew Freza returning is only a sophomore.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so,
Doing pretty well. Yeah, he
been
believed.
amazing.
Yeah, he was the first finisher on that
Yes.
Trinity Invitational for you guys, and sort of led the way, paced the play for you guys as well,
Yeah.
like that. So that's really awesome to watch. I got a couple more questions here for you. A couple little fun ones here. If you were to take one thing on it, like a deserted island, it could be your phone, and you might not have service, but if you were to take like one thing to keep you occupied for as long as you can, what would that one thing be?
Oh, that's a good question. I might cheat and say two things. I'll go a boring answer, running shoes, get my runs
that's
in.
awesome. Yeah.
And then I love to collect sports cards, so probably bring some sports
that's
cards.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah,
that's a really good answer. I collected a ton of sports cards back in my day. Baseball, football, stuff like that. Also a good Pokemon collector.
Oh yeah,
myself
it brings me back. Yeah, the childhood days. Yeah.
And second little fun question here for you. If you were to run one race, for the rest of the season, it could be like a 3K, 5K that you'd have to do every single weekend. Try to get your best luck at it. You can also talk in terms of track too. You're better at the 400, the 800, stuff like that. What's one race that you'd love to run just every single weekend?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd probably have to say the steeplechase.
Steeplechase.
That's actually my favorite race, but I only get to run it a few times in the spring.
Yeah.
So I would love some equivalent to that an indoor track, and I would love that. Yeah.
Right. You heard it here first from Ben Lockwood. Huge steeplechase guy. He'd love to run that every time
Yes,
if he could. But once again, we thank you for joining us here on Inside RIC Athletics. Owen Kane, joined by junior of the men's cross country team, Ben Lockwood. Ben, once again, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me. This was
Awesome.
great, Owen.
Yeah.
Thank you.